you a story? Okay. So some of you guys have asked, what does running stupid far distances actually mean? So I'll tell you guys a story. So for the last 2 going on 3 years now, I have this event called the Lions Roar. It's actually what I'm training for this year. My big thing I'm excited about. And we were talking about this, Jeff, that I think to do endurance racing, you have to be a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I think there's something to be said for this iterative approach to, seeing what you're capable of and what your potential is. And I love that, right? So almost 3 years ago, I signed up for this race. At this point, the farthest I had ever run was a 50K. So 31 miles, okay, 26 plus 5. It's far, yep. And this is a fun event, and hear me out on this. It's a 2.5 mile loop. It starts at 6 p.m. on a Friday. It ends at 6 p.m. on a Saturday. So it's a 24-hour window of a 2.5 mile loop, and that's it. And that's it. And for some reason, a part of me said, that sounds fun. I don't know. There was something before I did this, there was something that drew me to this idea of the mental battle of going in a circle for 24 hours, just the mental fortitude. That something appealed to me about that. There was something about this idea of starting at 6 p.m. and running through the night. Something appealed to me about that. It's Missouri, it's April, so who knows what the weather is going to be like? Nobody knows. And so the day of the race, we started at 6 p.m. and from 6 p.m. until about 2 p.m. the next day, so about 18 of the 18 and a half hours that I actually ended up running, it was raining and 38 degrees. And a little part of me was like, this is awesome. But hear me out. So here's what happened. I was so focused on trying to get to this big number because my ego got in the way, and I was thinking about me and how cool it would be if I was able to tell my friends that I did this thing for the first time, and my body would start crashing, and so I would just drink a Red Bull because that's the solution. And so I kept spiking and crashing and spiking and crashing, and I ended up running 75 miles over 19 and a half hours. And I could not walk for a couple days. My body was broken. So when I signed up for it again, my wife was like, "What are you doing? No, you can't do that." Because the thing is, I signed up for it again because throughout that year, I was talking about it with my friends, and most of them think I'm bananas. But a couple of them were like, "Wow, that actually is kind of cool. I wonder what I'm capable of." And so Andy and Will, two my best friends. Will was the best man in my wedding. I was the best man in his wedding. Good dudes. Andy had never run more than a half marathon, so 13.1 miles. Will had never run more than a marathon, 26.2 miles. They both signed up for this. Neither of them are runners. Neither of them were actively training for this, which is maybe a bad decision in itself. But I somehow convinced them because I said, if you go slower than you think you should, if you take breaks, if you figure out how to have fun in this process, if you stretch, you'll actually probably go a lot farther than you think you're capable of. And that's really cool. And so going into this race, my wife said one thing. She said, if you're going to do it, you have to promise me you won't get injured. She's like, I can't do that. We have 2 kids now. We only had 1 kid last time. We can't do this. And so I said, okay. So my only goal going into that race was to help Andy and help Will see what they're capable of. That was it. Had like a little secondary goal in the back of my head, like, it would be cool to beat last year. But my primary focus for that entire race, going into it, everything leading up to it, was helping Andy and Will break through, because I knew the impact it would make in them if they could achieve more than they thought they were capable of. And so it was really fun. We start the race and we're running and all these things. And again, when I say like race, when I say running, I walk a lot, right? So we were talking about this. My average per mile pace was about 14, 15 minutes a mile. So like I'm walking a lot. Again, the thing is, Andy and Will were doing their laps and I was doing my laps, and once in a while Andy would be walking, and instead of just running, I said, you know what, I'm here to help him. I'm here to have fun. And so I'd walk a lap or two with him, you know, just hanging out. What ended up happening is throughout the night, throughout the next couple hours, because I was putting them first instead of listening to my ego, all of a sudden I look up and, hey, it's been like 12 hours and I've gone pretty far and I feel great. Huh. Oh well, yeah, I'm just here for Andy and Will. This will be fun. Look down, 18 hours have gone by, and holy cow, like I've actually gone quite a ways. In service to others, in service to my friends, I put aside my ego and I focused on helping someone else to their goals. And this is my face after 80 miles. So I actually beat the year before. And the craziest thing is I was fine the next day. So my wife let me sign up a third time, right? It was good. But the point is, guys, is what was different this year versus last year was this year I wasn't running for me. This year I wasn't pushing myself past where I should have gone. I was listening to myself. I was reminding myself of why I was doing this, right? I was visualizing the impact that it would make on Will and Andy when they broke through that next level. And man, it was so cool. Andy had never done more than a half marathon. He walked pretty much for 20 hours straight. He got to 50 miles walking. And so again, this is a little challenge for you. I don't think all of you want to be endurance runners, but we're capable of so much more than we think. And if we can give ourselves that permission to take steps forward in the service of others, it's crazy what will happen. Okay? So here's the last piece. Again, when service is your purpose, you will take action even when it gets hard. The last piece is to execute and enjoy. So again, every single day, every single moment, if you can remind yourself, I'm here to serve, and what that looks like is, whether it's in the context of my family relationship, my friends, my business, my health, my spiritual life, what does starting with the end look like right now? What could get in my way? What are my obstacles? Right? Can I visualize the outcome? Can I figure out the plan? Can I actually take steps forward? And then it's time to execute. Time to actually do something about it. Enjoy the process, right? I love this Mike Tyson quote. I'm going to butcher it, but he says something to the effect of, the most dangerous fighter is a fighter who's having fun. Right? The most dangerous in the ring is somebody who wants to be there and who is enjoying the process. Now, does he actually mean he enjoys getting punched in the face? I don't think he actually enjoys that, but he enjoys the journey. He enjoys the work. He enjoys doing what it takes to get to where he wants to go. Was Mike Tyson pretty okay at what he did too? Right? Regardless of what you think of him, was he pretty okay at what he did? Right? And there's so much truth in that, is that when we execute, take action on the plan that we have, and we figure out how to enjoy the process, man, life is just so much fun. It's beautiful.